3rd of December 1971. Pakistan launched an unprovoked attack on Indian airfields. Our country faced challenges from both West Pakistan and East Pakistan and was left with no choice but to respond with decisive force.
Pakistan launched a full-scale war against us. The Pakistan Air Force suddenly struck at our airfields in Amritsar, Pathankot, Srinagar, Avantipur, Uttarlai, Jodhpur, Ambala and Agra.
The Prime Minister's message to the country was clear. Aggression must be met. For the Indian Navy, it was a coming of age, a baptism by fire, an opportunity to take the war to the enemy. The task for the Navy was clearly defined in the message from the Chief of the Naval Staff, Admiral Nanda. The commander on the Western Seaboard, Vice Admiral S.N. Kohli, was directed to send a bold and spirited naval force into harm's way to destroy enemy units and harbour installations. The units chosen for this task were the newly commissioned OSA-class missile boats of the 25th Missile Vessel Squadron. Though designed for coastal defence, these missile boats packed a formidable punch if deployed audaciously with ingenuity and daring, and emphasis on surprise and perfect timing. What followed became a glorious chapter in the history of the Indian Navy. Due to their limited endurance, the missile boats were towed up to a certain point just south of Karachi harbour, from where they could proceed at full speed to carry out an attack and disperse thereafter. The crew of these missile boats had just returned after training in the erstwhile USSR and were fluent in the Russian language. All tactical communication during the mission was undertaken in Russian, adding to the deception in case the enemy intercepted the communication. The ships headed north in an arrowhead formation, hugging the Saurashtra coast before breaking out. Their objective? To set Karachi harbour ablaze. Just about 40 miles from Karachi, INS Nirghat reported a radar contact at a distance of 25 miles. The contact was evaluated to be a warship and Nirghat was ordered to engage. She altered course towards the target and launched a missile. The Pakistani destroyer Khyber was hit with the Indian Navy's first shot of the war. Nirghat had drawn first blood. Nipat and Veer continued steering north. Veer launched a missile at the minesweeper Muhafiz and disintegrated the target. Just before midnight, Nipat launched a missile towards the harbour entrance and scored a direct hit, setting the Kiamari fuel tanks and other harbour facilities ablaze. A fire that took 4 days to extinguish. The Chief of Naval Staff signalled, "Operation Trident a success. Karachi ablaze. I am proud of you." This was swiftly followed up by Operation Python as the second wave of attacks. The total annihilation of ships and harbour facilities completely unnerved the Pakistani Navy. In a panic, they recalled all their major surface combatants to harbour. The success of these attacks had a dramatic effect on the war. The Indian Navy had accomplished the assigned task in style, and within the next few days of the war, a naval blockade was also imposed. Meanwhile, on the Eastern Front, the heroic actions of the naval units led by the aircraft carrier INS Vikrant ensured that the Indian Navy achieved control of the seas around both wings of Pakistan and scored an emphatic victory at sea. The country finally tasted triumph when General A.K. Niazi capitulated on the Eastern Front and signed the Instrument of Surrender on the 16th of December 1971. The stunning success of the Indian Navy's Operation Trident brought glory to the service, and the 4th of December is fittingly commemorated as the Navy Day, the day when Karachi was set ablaze.
On this momentous occasion of the 49th anniversary of the daring attack on Karachi harbour, on the 4th of December 1971, I extend heartiest greetings to all my fellow citizens. In particular, our esteemed veterans who made this happen with their valor and sacrifice. Since this victory belonged to the people of India, we take this opportunity every year to reach out to all our fellow citizens and welcome people on board our warships, showcasing the might and grandeur of the Indian Navy at ceremonies like the beating retreat, band performances by the Indian Naval Band, as well as air displays and flypasts by Indian naval aircraft. This year has been exceptional due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and the challenges it has posed globally. We've had peculiar challenge of maintaining our preparedness and sustaining a high degree of operational tempo during these very exacting times. At the same time, the Indian Navy has been seized of a humanitarian role, and we have left no stone unturned to bring our citizens stranded overseas back home or provide succor to our maritime neighbors in their hour of need.
With the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic this year, the world has witnessed unprecedented challenges. Many countries around the world had instituted a total lockdown to limit the spread of the deadly virus, resulting in many of our citizens stranded in foreign countries, leaving them no opportunity to return home. The Government of India launched a massive evacuation exercise, Mission Vande Bharat, to bring back our citizens home by air and sea routes.
Indian naval ships Jalashwa and Magar are presently en route to the port of Malé in Maldives to commence evacuation operations from the 8th of May, that is from Friday, as part of Phase 1.
The Navy mobilized its troop carrier ships to repatriate the stranded citizens in the months of May and June in a naval operation called Samudra Setu. Almost 4,000 Indian citizens were brought back from 3 countries over 8 such trips by Indian naval ships Jalashwa, Magar, Airawat and Shardul. The Navy also embarked upon Mission Sagar by transporting essential supplies to fight COVID-19 and relief material on board INS Kesari to nations in the Indian Ocean region. Despite the challenges posed by the pandemic, the Navy continued its primary role of safeguarding national interests in the maritime domain, concurrently keeping naval personnel safe from infection. The Western Naval Command ensured there was no let-up in the operational tempo, and Western Fleet ships sustained at sea for prolonged durations right through the pandemic. It was our medical teams battling the pandemic relentlessly who were the real heroes. They rose to the challenge with utmost dedication, putting aside their own safety, and thus were aptly called the Corona Warriors. The Western Naval Command joined the other armed forces to pay a special tribute to these Corona Warriors in the month of May this year. The Navy realized very early that COVID-19 would present mounting challenges, and the command was one of the first to set up a quarantine facility at its Material Organization campus in Ghatkopar as early as the month of March. This facility served to house a number of Indian citizens returning from abroad and looked after them, providing complete medical support and general physical as well as mental well-being during their stressful periods. The Western Naval Command also set up distribution of rations to the labourers stranded during the lockdown. In-house design initiatives like the breathable PPE kit for the safety of our medical teams, doctors and nurses, and many other practical innovations were a welcome relief in times of scarcity and long working hours for the medical teams. In fact, the PPE kit later passed all checks and was taken up by industry for large-scale production and distribution throughout the country. The Western Naval Command also utilized its air assets to set up a COVID testing center at Goa, transporting vital equipment and samples, as well as transferring trained medical staff to help fight the pandemic. The Navy Week, and indeed the Navy Day itself, are grand spectacles for the citizens. It is a time for us to reach out and engage with people, and we do this by way of a wide spectrum of activities. The beating retreat and tattoo ceremony at the iconic Gateway of India is a premier event on the Mumbai calendar. The naval band performing the sunset ceremony and the drummers at the tattoo ceremony. The Chetak, Sea-King and Kamov helicopter maneuvers, as well as the demonstration by the Marine Commandos, are well known to most Mumbaikars. The flawlessly executed continuity drill, which comprises complex drill movements without a single word of command, is a signature event by the brave men of the Killers Squadron.
पश्चिमी नौसेना कमान की जय।
The Sea Cadet Corps bring their joy and enthusiasm to the people through the universally loved Sailors' Hornpipe dance. The Naval Band regales the city at various venues throughout the Navy Week. Western Naval Command Half Marathon, which has already become an integral part of the city's sporting calendar, is widely regarded as the best conducted marathon anywhere in the country. This year, COVID restrictions have deemed it difficult to host events in their usual splendor.
This year, we step into the golden jubilee year of commemorating the 1971 victory as the Swarnim Vijay Varsh. The upcoming 12 months will highlight the glory and achievements of our armed forces. We in the Navy do not sit back on our laurels, but we continue to strive for professionalism, excellence and efficiency to ensure that the cutting edge remains sharp and honed. I would like to reassure the nation that we, the guardians of India's maritime interests, shall always remain a combat-ready, credible and cohesive force. Jai Hind.